Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Red Goblins, and this is an Aetherdrift standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. What are the new goblins packed in? Well, we got 4 Burnout Bashtronaut. It's a 1 mana 1/1. It has Menace and Start Your Engines. So when you start your engines, if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life, which should be pretty easy to do, right? Now, max speed is 4. Okay. Also on this card, for 2 mana, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and then when you have max speed, this creature has double strike. That's pretty darn cool, man. Interested to see how much this is going to do today. Another new goblin. We got all 4 Greasewrench Goblins. This is a 1 mana 2/1 with Exhaust. Now you activate each Exhaust ability only once. Okay. So for 2 and a red, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Nice, cool stuff. More new goblins. We got a couple of Draconautics Engineer. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with Exhaust for 1 red mana. Other creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. You put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Awesome. Has another Exhaust ability for 3 and a red. Create a 4/4 red dinosaur dragon creature token with flying. All right, cool stuff, man. I think it's going to be worth the 2 of for sure. Another new goblin. All the new goblins, guys. We have 4 Howlsquad Heavies. This is a 3 mana 2/3 with Start Your Engines as well. And then also, other goblins you control have haste. Nice. Now, I would say that's the main reason that this is in here, but for some reason, there's more packed onto this card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. That token attacks this combat if able. And then also, when you have max speed, you can tap this, add a red mana for each goblin you control. Pretty cool stuff, man. Maybe we can go ahead and use all that extra mana from the Howlsquad Heavy on some of these Exhaust abilities or something. But honestly, that's not why it's in here. It's in here because other goblins you control have haste. Just kind of seems silly, especially when most of our goblins don't default with haste, like Searslicer Goblin, for example. I'd say we see these old goblins enough to not go over them, and either way, we save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so you guys can look forward to that. But I'll still go over what we have in here. So 4 Searslicer Goblins, we got 4 Rundvelt Hordemasters helping us buff our wide goblin board state. Same concept with Dropkick Bomber, making the cut as a 2 of in here. Got a Squee, because Squee's pretty darn good in a goblin build, huh? We have all 4 Cacophony Scamps working wonders with all 4 Monstrous Rage. But honestly, all 4 Monstrous Rage works wonders with any creature build like this. You know, I'd really love to stack a Monstrous Rage on top of a double striking Burnout Bashtronaut today. That's like one of the goals today. So we'll see if we can actually accomplish that. Got some burn packed in with a couple Burst Lightning. Is this enough removal for the deck list? Probably not, but I mean, we're trying to go wide. We're trying to go we're trying to get a lot of goblins pushed through as fast as possible, so hopefully we don't have to worry about removal too much. Okay, the top end, guys, Krenko Mob Boss. I will take the time to go over this real quick. It's a 4 mana 3/3 legendary creature. You can tap it, create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. Now, of course, usually what happens is you play Krenko, Krenko dies immediately, and you never actually get to tap Krenko, right? But if we have haste from the Howlsquad Heavy, I think that's going to be one heck of a turn 4, and curving out in this deck list seems like it'll be awesome, huh? 22 total mana, a couple of them being Cavern of Souls, hopefully not holding us up too often. Like if we only see 2 Cavern of Souls, then Monstrous Rage will just chill in our hand. But maybe we can discard those out to like a Greasewrench Goblin Exhaust or something. That could be interesting. A bunch of honorable mentions, guys. There's so many awesome goblins packed into standard right now. There's going to be so many cool ways to put this together. I thought about other awesome goblins like Fanatical Firebrand. It could be an awesome way to poke through damage to the opponent's face for that whole max speed nonsense. Thought about other burn like Lightning Strike, of course. I thought about ways to see more off the top. Right now, we really only have Rundvelt Hordemaster, which should be fine enough. What's the ratio of goblins? We have 32 creatures in here. 32 goblins. Holy cow. So over half the deck to see with the Hordemaster ability. We'll probably see goblins then. This is important, guys. I did not want this to be the Agatha's Soul Cauldron build with the Krenko Mob Boss combo, all that nonsense, right? I very specifically just wanted it to be Goblin aggro, not Goblin combo aggro or whatever, right? So that's important. I thought about Boom Mobile. This could work wonders with extra mana off the Howlsquad Heavy. But then also when it enters, we could use its ability to activate exhaust abilities, but not this time around. Thought about Amonkhet Raceway, and I thought about Soulstone Sanctuary as well. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? Let's get into some games. Right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be good, dude. I think it's going to be excellent, but we'll see, won't we? I guess you never know sometimes. Opponent goes first. That is scary, but this is a decent hand, right? I don't mind this at all. We keep this. Okay, mountain from the opponent. I shall match their mountain. And do we start with Cacophony Scamp? I guess, right? Especially since Monstrous Rage is in hand too. I guess it depends. Yeah, they decide not to do anything there. Okay. Oh, Emberheart Challenger up against some Gruul. Yeah, them going first. I'd say that's pretty scary, huh? No blocks for now. Although now would have been the time to block without them giving it trample and stuff. So that's noteworthy. All right, call Goblin. And we could go double Greasewrench, save the Rundvelt for next turn. It's a little bit of a surprise, boosting 3 goblins. Boost it now. I think I'm going to go double Greasewrench. I guess we start with the swing then, because Greasewrench doesn't have haste right now. And decline. I guess another option would have been Rundvelt Hordemaster, and then sacrificed our Scamp to pop their Emberheart Challenger. That could have been pretty good, trading our 1-drop with their 2-drop. Then the only thing we'd have on the board is Hordemaster, and this is very much the style of deck list that runs Burn, so we'd probably lose the Hordemaster. I don't know, that's a tough decision because taking out their Emberheart Challenger could have been pretty valuable. Maybe we'll have to do it next turn. Depending on what they stack onto it, of course, because it has double strike now. No blocks, and I think we're going to take a chunk of damage. All right. Taking 12 damage. I'll tell you what, the Rundvelt Hordemaster play was looking pretty good. Oopsie-daisies, I suppose. So we still have a way to clear up the Challenger, but now Manifold Mouse is an equal threat. Right, so Hordemaster. Boosting our goblins. I guess we swing with Scamp. We can boost the Scamp, sack the Scamp, pop the Challenger. They have a Manifold Mouse, which I guess is a little... It's okay, but I really should have popped the Scamp last turn, right? I really should have. It's too bad we can't just go 5 to their face because that's big damage, dude. Oh, man. Let's see what we see off the top with the Hordemaster, too. But, no, we should take care of the Challenger. I think we're dead. But we'll see, we'll see. Yeah, because double strike to the Manifold Mouse, boosted a couple times. Our 1 blocker's Hordemaster. Could have kept some of the Greasewrench back to block, though. Oh, Heartfire Hero, give it haste. If they don't have a way to give it trample, though... if they don't have Monstrous Rage in hand, right? I guess we try to block. Holy cow. We're alive, guys. Oh my goodness. That was a surprise. Now can we survive next turn as well? So 4th mana isn't bad for the Krenko, but does that help us survive the turn? No, not really. Dropkick Bomber. Boosting the goblins is a little bit better, right? Man, I feel like I could have played this one out much better, huh? At that point, just boosting the goblins doesn't seem that great. If we full swing, it's all risky at any point, right? If we swing with 1 down to 4, we have a chance of cleaning up next turn if we have a successful block. But we're still trying to like play around this concept of, oh, I don't know. That's really tough, guys, because we don't know what's left in their hand. All we know is it wasn't a Monstrous Rage. So keeping extra blockers back, they do go down to 4 here. So I don't know, man, because Heartfire Hero goes up to a 3/3. It's going to have double strike. We're going to be forced to block. And the best block might be Dropkick Bomber. Okay, let's see what they see off the top here. Oh, Emberheart Challenger, Hired Claw. Okay. That's probably Challenger for the turn so they can swing wide. At that point, it does look like we're surviving, so they might not swing wide here. Might just swing with Heartfire Hero. Force the block with the Dropkick Bomber. No. We could trade with the Greasewrench. Take the 3 down to 3. Oh, no, it's not a trade. It's not a trade. It has double strike. Let's see where they swing first. Oh, guys, how are we going to get that last 4/3 if they still have blockers on the ground? Dropkick Bomber can send a Greasewrench into the air, but it's only 3 in the air. And then they still have the blocker on the ground, so we need to top deck something big here, right? So we're going to keep Dropkick Bomber, just in case. We block here. Because we're forced to. Okay. Something else, guys. We could use the Greasewrench ability and still have the Dropkick Bomber's ability open as well. There's a chance we see more mana and maybe a Monstrous Rage. There's a chance, guys. There's a chance. It's mana. So what's the best course of action? Do we use... Wait a minute. We get a +1/+1 counter when we do this too, guys. Oh, that's so good. Oh my goodness. Dude, that's so good. We got there. So we send the Greasewrench Goblin into the air. I wasn't even thinking about the extra counter. Oh my goodness, guys. I felt like the whole time I could have played that one out so much better, but we got there. Thank goodness, dude. So maybe I was playing it out well and just being too hard on myself. That's a possibility, huh? Awesome first game. We got a little lucky that they missed their second Monstrous Rage because, let's be honest, usually they have it. Or 3, or 4, or 18 Monstrous Rage, right? That's what it feels like sometimes. Oh, man, that was good. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. I'm building confidence with the deck list. Yeah, it's funny, like, I knew Greasewrench got the extra counter, but it wasn't factoring in that game, you know what I mean? Like, I knew exactly what the card did. It just, yeah, completely overlooked the counter for a second. Ooh, turn 1 start our engines. Okay. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this hand. That's one heck of a curve, dude. What's great about the Menace on the Burnout is we probably get to swing by whatever blocker they have for the Searslicer Goblin and then successfully get that extra Goblin on the board. That's a really good 1, 2, 3. We'll skip the Cacophony Scamp for now. All right, engines started. Okay, Burst Lightning isn't bad. Just a forest, huh? I think we're safe to get the Searslicer down. Engines up to 2. Or speed up to 2, I should say. Extra Goblin and everything, man. Twitching Doll. Okay, that's one we don't get to see very often. What if we skip the heavy and go for popping the doll? We get by here. No, I don't think we do. I don't think we skip the heavy. I think we get it down while we can. Get the extra Goblin swinging through on the ground. And we can swing with all the tokens because they're going to get replaced if they block with the Twitching Doll, which they probably should. One of them is going to get replaced by the Searslicer Goblin ability, so it's worth pushing through that extra damage. All right. Almost at max speed, guys. Might have crazy ramp with the Howlsquad here, but I don't know what we're going to do with that ramp. Maybe kick the Burst Lightning or something? A Overlord. And they still got 1 mana open with the Twitching Doll. They got some good ramp. I wonder what they could ramp into in mono green. Well, doesn't have to be mono green, huh? Everywhere is 1 mana of any color. Oh, and this is 1 mana of any color too. For Twitching Doll. It's probably mono green based on all the forest, but yeah, it doesn't have to be. Suppose we don't know what we're up against. Okay. Opponent has started the countdown. They get a Lore Keeper down. They drop an Oops. I don't know what the Oops is for. Monstrous Rage. Ooh. Ooh, we should wait on that, huh? Wait till we have that max speed. Wait a minute. Burst Lightning gets us the max. You don't have to wait for the max speed, guys. You can just, like, get the max speed, right? Yeah. So we have max speed now. Okay. So we could tap the Howlsquad Heavy. I think we might swing with it instead, though. That's cool. That's cool. But we have 5 mana on that. So I guess we could do boosts on the Bashtronaut and still play stuff out of hand. Well, number 1, Cacophony Scamp, it's going to have haste, right? The extra 2 is going to be boosted on the double strike. So we do want to tap this. I guess we start with the swing, right? Because then it's another goblin as well. It's kind of crazy. So we keep Howlsquad Heavy back. See where they block with the Lore Keeper, but it probably goes into the Searslicer Goblin. However, they could... Yeah, it's probably Searslicer, I can imagine here. Oh, looking at their hand. Okay, Monstrous Rage onto the Burnout. And then Howlsquad Heavy. Use all the extra mana onto the Burnout. Oh, let me play it out, opponent. Let me play it out. Thank you. That's cool. Burnout Bashtronaut could have ended the game without the other goblins. Oh, not necessarily. The other goblins were actually boosting how much extra mana we were getting. With the Howlsquad Heavy. Man, that's cool, huh? But unfortunately, the opponent didn't really get to do too much that game, even though... What was that? An achievement? Ooh. I don't think I'm going to take the time to look at achievements mid-video. Like, sometimes we do, like, mid-video packs and stuff. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. We got these new achievements. When I pop an achievement, should I take the time to look at it or just get right into the next game? That's what I'm thinking, right? More games, the better. Okay. The hands have been good, bro, right? I think so. It's hard to pack a bunch of goblins into a build and not be satisfied with a hand, though, you know what I mean? As long as you got some goblins to play in your first couple turns. All right. A couple more Burnout Bastronauts wouldn't be terrible when it comes time to boost them with the Hordemaster, but we should probably just go Searslicer. Opponent's tapped out, gonna do it now. Even though Searslicer reads at the beginning of your end step, so you can totally play it main phase 2. I just like playing cards as soon as possible, you know? So if opponent's tapped out and it's not affecting anything, that's always nice to do. Yeah, we could have gone equally as wide with the extra Burnout Bastronauts, but by going Searslicer Goblin, first of all, Selesnya Colors means board wipes. Temporary lockdown style build, anything like that too, right? Eventually Sunfall. So Searslicer Goblin generating extra tokens and actually keeping extra cards in hand seems a bit more valuable overall. So speaking of temporary lockdown, how much do we want to play around here? Rundvelt Hordemaster gives us an extra 3 damage pushing through this turn. Extra Goblin from the Searslicer. Still be a really good temporary lockdown for them. I'm going to keep my 1-drops, guys. We could go even more wide, but I'm not going to. And I hope that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to specifically play around the deck list that we're up against. It's an Overlord. Okay. That's noteworthy because if I would have put Cacophony... Woo! Monstrous Rage is good, huh? I think I'm still going to play around that board wipe. Not like anything in hand has haste anyways. Alright. Full swing. How much damage is that? I can't count right now. That's 10 damage. So we'll go on to... I guess it doesn't really matter if we're anticipating board wipe next turn. But yeah, I'm not going to play any of my cards in hand. Down to 1. Max speed. Awesome. Continuing to go wide. And we have to... We pretty much know that it's a board wipe, right? Sunfall or something. So we're hoping Cacophony Scamp can get us there. However, this type of deck list also knows how to gain life too, so... We'll see. Oh, Archangel. There's some life gain, but this is good news because we're going to see more off the top with Hordemaster, and we have so many goblins packed in. Yeah, GG opponent. Wow. Wow, guys. Huh. Huh. Okay, let's keep the ball rolling. Yeah. Hopefully I'm playing it out well enough for you guys, too. It's one of those days, I guess, where it just kind of feels like I'm not playing to the best of my ability, but maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm doing completely fine. You guys let me know in the comments. There's always, like, in that game, right, I guess, since they missed the board wipe, we didn't have to play around it. We could have cleaned that game up a turn sooner since we got them down to 1, and the reason we got them down to 1 was I didn't play my extra goblins when we had the mana for them. But do you guys think it was worth playing around the board wipes? I think it was, but yeah. Potentially could have cleaned that game up a turn sooner. Only Searslicer and a top-end Krenko. I believe this is a mulligan, guys. Especially when we go first, I think we can find something much better. Ooh, okay, we keep 6, send the one that we're furthest from, which is Krenko, unfortunately. All right, let's go Cavern and let them know what they're up against, huh? Also, they dropped hello. We drop hello in return because we don't get many hellos. Hate the planes. All right. Curve out. Hope for mana off the top. It's not time to pop the scamp, so we decline. Yeah, mana off the top. Probably... I don't know. Ooh, it is mana off the top, too. Squee getting picked up by an Elspeth Smite or something along those lines would be pretty bad. It's probably Squee, though, right? Probably. I can see it. I can see an argument for Howlsquad Heavy, too. But I'm going to go Squee. All right, let's see what happens. Full swing. There's no way we hold any of these back. Because if it is like an Elspeth Smite, they're not going to hit Hordemaster with it. They're going to hit the Squee. Oh, Virtue, though. Oh, that's a problem. Well, our Hordemaster... Hordemaster died anyways. Crap. But we do get to plug a little extra damage through. Still don't think it's time to pop the Scamp. We saw a Searslicer off the top. Pop the Scamp, pop the 2-2. Nah, I don't think so. Decline. Maybe I should have held the Hordemaster back in preparation for a hasty or a flash creature, but I don't know. Ooh, Enduring Innocence is pretty good for them. Go for the swing because Vigilance. And... right. Probably just the Squee swing, unfortunately. Drop the Searslicer, drop a Cacophony Scamp, hope they don't wipe the board. Because we're getting to that point in the game where they can really turn the tides here. Wouldn't mind the Howlsquad Heavy, but then we waste the Searslicer Goblin. The trade into the Innocence at least gets the lifelink off the board. Extra Goblin dies to the 2-2, so we can successfully swing with the other Goblin to push 1 damage through. Keep the Scamp back, because that's not a trade I'm willing to make. Because if we do make the trade with the Scamp, then that just tempts them further into a board wipe. And it's already going to be pretty tempting, dude. We got the 1 through. We got the trade to go back up to 12. And now a lifelink creature's off the board. Searslicer gets us an extra goblin. Scamp, because I'm not playing around the board wipe this time, which is scary, huh? 5 goblins on the board. 4th mana. Caretaker's Talent is not a board wipe. That's still pretty good, though. They get some card draw, get an extra 2/2. And the 2/2s are blocking really well against my current board state because I swung with that Rundvelt Hordemaster. Oh, no. But they also could have found other removal for the Hordemaster, too. That's very possible. 6 cards in the opponent's hand, 1 mana away from Virtue, 1 mana away from Sunfall. So 4th mana is not bad because Howlsquad Heavy is not bad. Guess we get our engine started. We're too late in the game for that to matter, but hasty Cacophony Scamp, a trade into Searslicer. Does it even matter? Because if they do find the board wipe next turn, it doesn't really matter, does it? A trade into Searslicer means we get to keep more of the 1/1s around anyways. So I guess we just full swing. And then all the Scamps push through. We have to ask the question, is it worthwhile now to pop the Scamps in anticipation of a Sunfall? Okay, no, they're going to block a Scamp, actually. At that point, we're not even going to worry about... Yeah, we're not even going to worry about the 2/1, right? We just have to go full anticipation for board wipe. Just keep hitting face. Oh no, I hope that's okay. Start your engines to 2. We have the other Cacophony Scamp abilities. See, like I said, we could do it. We could do it. It actually fuels our grave a little bit further for the Squee to come back next turn then too. Squee's not going to push through that much though. Yeah, you know what? If they got the Sunfall, they got the Sunfall. Let's just see what happens here. 5th mana and... Sunfall. Womp womp. Is there going to be a way to push the 6 damage through? Maybe. However, if I would have popped the Scamps in anticipation for Sunfall, this would have been a Squee turn. That's very important, guys. Oh. Also, I should have kept the Mountain in hand because we do have the Greasewrench Goblin in here, which could have helped us filter that out at some point, right? If we see that off the top, because all 4 of them are still packed in. And then also filtering the Mountain into the grave gives us even more ways to bring the Squee back, potentially. Yeah, okay. Okay. We should have known Sunfall was coming. I should have popped the Scamps, got the extra 2 damage through, fueled our grave, swung with Squee while they were tapped out. It is a Greasewrench Goblin too, so I shouldn't have played the Mountain either. Oh no, dude. That's rough, huh? Getting punished this game. Right. I definitely should have kept that Mountain in hand. Well, not going to activate it yet. But we do have a way to give it an extra counter at the very least. Well, we'll see what they end up doing here, right? This one could have easily come down to me, guys. Because if I would have popped the Scamps, brought them down to 4, they were tapped out on the Sunfall turn, swung with Squee, would have been an extra 3 getting through, right? While they were tapped out, down to 1. So, lay down arms. Yeah, so we can't really do anything about that. We go up to 21. I think they should probably full swing here. Because they have 6 open. Oh! They have 2 open, and that is definitely a full swing. We are on a clock, guys. I don't think there's anything we could see that could help us push 6 damage through, honestly. It's a Cavern of Souls. Well, that definitely won't do it. Let's call Warrior. Yeah. All right. Oh, man. Yeah, I think potentially this one could have come down to me. So if we had the Squee swing, and we were swinging. We get him down to 1. We ended up seeing Mountain, Greasewrench, Cavern. So if I kept Mountain in hand after the swing, traded out... Oh, good game, by the way, opponent. Traded out Mountain, we would have found the Cavern. So it depends what's underneath the Cavern. If it was like one of our Burst Lightning or something. It's too bad we can't check, though, you know? That was the game where we mulligan sent the Krenko too, huh? Yeah. I think that could have been anyone's game easily. Oh, speaking of mid-video packs, huh? Let's do this. And hey, guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, or I guess middle end-ish of the video at this point, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Then also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, oh, Voyager Glide Car. Okay, that's a one-mana vehicle to look into at some point, huh? Anyways, the YouTube side of things. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. All right, right into the next game. I think we probably have time for a couple more, and win or lose, I'm relatively satisfied. Okay, we go first. That's a hand, dude. That's a hand right there. We're not going to start with Cavern this time since we have Monstrous Rage in hand. There's a small chance that we see another Monstrous Rage and another Mountain and want to do both of them on the same turn. Which will still work out anyways, because Cavern would still be able to... I think it would still work out, but I'm just going to start with the Mountain just in case. I guess one of the ways that it wouldn't work out is if we had to discard one of our lands for some reason, right? Cut down. Aw, man. Opponent. At least we started our engines, though. There's the other Mountain. I'm going to stick to that concept, get the other Mountain down. Rundvelt Hordemaster, do you survive, buddy? I have a bad feeling. Tiny Bones. Forsaken Miner. Okay. Now we can safely get the Cavern down. Call... No, not Warrior. Oh, jeez. I was making the joke in the last game. No, Goblins. So, Howlsquad Heavy is probably the play. Because we're not swinging Hordemaster into Pickpocket. But swinging these... Hasty Goblin tokens... That makes complete sense to me. All right, engines to 2. Third mana from the opponent. I will take this gladly. See what Tiny Bones does for them. They are going to play it too. They gladly play the Burnout Bashtronaut, and Case of the Stashed Skeleton cannot block. Should be a pretty good turn here, man. Right. Draconautics Engineer is pretty darn good too. Any amount of extra goblins, because they all have haste. I'll save the Monstrous Rage for like a finishing blow, because this is a crazy turn, dude. GG opponent. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, we have 32 goblins packed in, so really good chance of seeing a goblin off the top. Engineer was a good one because, well, I guess any of the 2 drops would have been a good one there, right? The extra boost from Hordemaster. A great full swing. They have 1 chump blocker for the big thing here. Howlsquad Heavy was going to be swinging 2. Would have been another 3/3 as well. So how much damage is that? That's 14 damage getting through if they block the biggest thing. And then, yeah, Monstrous Rage probably would have been the finishing blow next turn, too. Our engines would have been at 3 at that point, because we ended up missing 1 turn of actually getting the speed boosted up, right? All right, man. Let's keep the ball rolling. I hope we can end on a high note, because these games have been terrific so far. I guess at that point, win or lose for the last game, it doesn't really matter, does it? Actually, guys, this should probably be the last game. Since this is day 1 of the set release, I want to actually get this uploaded and get get it up for you guys on YouTube as soon as possible. So yeah, let's make this one the last game. We're going first. That's terrific news. Another just terrific hand too. We'll go ahead and keep this. See, with Burst Lightning and Monstrous Rage though, it is a little sketchy that Cavern is also in hand, but I think we'll be fine. Burnout Bashtronaut. All right, tap land. That's great news. Get right to second speed here. Call Goblin. Probably, I mean, Scamp with the Cavern and then Monstrous Rage. I want to save the Monstrous Rage. I think we curve out. A good chance that we see mana too, right? 22 total mana in here, so 20 remaining in the build. 52 cards. Even if it's more goblins, I guess that's fine too, right? Lightning Helix onto the Bastronaut, unfortunately. Let's see if we see a goblin on Hordemaster. We do, and it's a good one. Nice. I think we just play that. And just ignore everything else. And that's another instance of me playing Searslicer before we have to because the opponent was tapped out. We can wait until main phase 2 since it reads at the beginning of your end step, right? Okay. 2 mana open. Opponent's still at 19. I think we're going to double down. No, if we run into a board wipe next turn, it should probably be Scamp. Let's start with the swing, see what they do. See if they tap anything here, remove any of our creatures. It's going to be Fires of Victory for Searslicer. It's 5 damage, so no getting around that, huh? Okay. Well, they removed 1 creature. Let's see what's on the top with the Hordemaster. It was mana. I wouldn't have minded drawing into that, honestly. I think we get the 3 through and drop some goblins, and I hope that's okay, man. I hope that's okay. We now have max speed. Opponent just missed the board wipe, okay? Just missed the board wipe. 4th mana. Oh, it's tapped. Okay, that's great news. Opponent. All right. Hopefully we don't lose too many of our lands off the top from the Hordemaster ability. Oh, no. Okay, Howlsquad Heavy, land, Greasewrench Goblin. Oh, no, guys. That's bad news. We definitely needed some of that land. When the mana was tapped, I got so excited because usually, I mean, I guess I should have anticipated Slagstorm or Brotherhood's End style ability, but okay, Burst Lightning open. But yeah, usually it's a 4 mana board wipe in a deck list like this. Ill-timed Explosion. Oh, they're going just Slagstorm on the Greasewrench. That's mean, opponent. My poor Greasewrench. Hey, there we go. We found the 3rd. Awesome stuff. Okay, now I guess we go into Howlsquad Heavy because then we can give our Dropkick Bombers haste. There's still a chance, right? There's still a small chance. I'm pretty sure this is heavily leaning towards the opponent, though. They have their 5th. Slagstorm number 3. Holy cow, I'm a little taken aback by that. Well, I guess there wasn't going to be a lot of great chances against triple Slagstorm. At this point, we just continue to try to set something up here. Cavern of Souls looks like it might come in handy, huh? It lands. Yeah. I bet we just stopped a counterspell. Zergo. Wow, that's not one we see very often. So deal combat damage, top 3 cards, put one of them into your hand, and then they can return Zergo if they want. They decide to keep it on the board. It's like they found their 6th mana. Off the Zergo, probably? Maybe. Alright, we could go Hordemaster, and while we have a chance to get extra through with Monstrous Rage, we should, right? Instead of getting the other Dropkick Bomber down. Like, they're completely tapped out is what I'm getting at. We should push all the excess damage through while we can. And it's good excess damage, getting them down to 7. No joke, dude. See what they can pull off here. Start with the draw on the Zergo, which isn't technically a draw, right? It says put it into your hand. With all that mana, they decide to bounce Zergo back. Day of Judgment. Oh no. Let's see what we see on the Hordemaster. There's a really good chance of seeing more goblins. Ooh, Draconautics Engineer, unfortunately only giving haste to other creatures when you activate that ability. But that's pretty good, right? When they're at 7. Yeah, I mean, we definitely play the extra goblins while we can. And again, playing around counterspell, but now Cacophony Scamp gets countered, right? Now that we tapped the cavern down, maybe we should... No. Well, save Burst Lightning? No, probably not. Let's get Cacophony Scamp down, and this is where they... while they can counter something, they go for the counter. At that point, it comes down to which would we have rather them countered, the Burst Lightning or the Cacophony Scamp. Chandra Hope speaking, they found their top end, guys. We're in a lot of danger. They go -2. Krenko not doing much here, huh? Let's get the Dropkick Bomber down. We're in danger. They have Zergo to fly in the air for 4. They have -3 on Chandra if they want to. They go +2 though. Extra mana could mean they power up Restless Anchorage as well as play the Zergo. And that would be 6 in the air, putting us on a clock. Because Zergo would clean it up next turn then for 4. But I guess they can do the same thing next turn, right? They could get 6 in the air next turn. So we're still on a clock. Depending on what happens with this Dropkick Bomber, I'm thinking about going down to 2 Krenkos, guys. Maybe go up like 1 Lightning Strike or something silly. Greasewrench Goblin. Unfortunately, without the ability to give it haste from like the Engineer or the Howlsquad Heavy, I think that's that. But I think it's probably that's probably it anyways. So I will use the Cavern, of course, to get the Greasewrench down. Playing around that board wipe. We have Burst Lightning open. Even if we swing, they have the block on the Restless Anchorage. And it's a good block too, isn't it? But maybe we could go Burst Lightning. Maybe we can take care. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? While Chandra's established over there, they could go, again, they could go -3 on the Chandra, pop the Dropkick and the Greasewrench. So yeah, they weren't even scared of the excess 2 damage there, right? Didn't power up Restless Anchorage. I guess they didn't want to do that if they wanted to try to get lethal this turn. Which they have lethal with Chandra because that can hit face too. So I guess that's it, guys. Yeah. Kind of a brutal deck list from the opponent, seeing all 3 Slagstorms. Funny enough, they used Slagstorm just to go 1 for 1 in some of those turns, right? So that's how many Slagstorms the opponent ended up having. It's a neat Jeskai list, though. A lot of burn packed in. A Slagstorm over Brotherhood's End means they're going face a lot and stuff, too. So we'll go Burst Lightning. I guess we could take care of Chandra, too, but yeah, Chandra was boosted enough regardless. I guess we could have swung at Chandra. They have returned the favor in there, guys. They get to copy it, change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. So they're just going to do Burst Lightning to our face instead, right? So the copy actually didn't do anything in that scenario, right? Oh no, they went Burst Lightning to my Greasewrench. Okay. That was really interesting, actually. Krenko not doing too much today. A lot harder to actually get it onto the board than I was anticipating with 22 mana. And at 3 on the top end, I do think we want to think about going down to 2 here. 44 minutes in. Let's go over this deck list again, guys. Let's do this. Oh, and a video pack too? Yeah, why not? It's the new stuff, so gotta crack some new packs. Monument of Endurance. Cool. Yeah, that's a card that I want to try out for sure. All right, mono red goblins. Here's the deck list again, guys. What do you think? 2 Krenkos on the top end? Probably enough, right? Third burst lightning or a lightning strike? You know, what's funny, I like the way the deck list felt. I feel like Ren's Resolve probably wouldn't be worth it in here, but I might be wrong. More testing required for sure. Cacophony Scamp's ability really comes in handy way more often than you would expect. There is one thing here that I wanted to think about for a second. The Proliferate, I guess, works on the extra counter with the Greasewrench Goblin if you exhaust that, and then also extra counter on the Draconautics Engineer, which I would consider more of these, honestly, but not this time around. Maybe that's something we consider in the future for, well, future Goblin builds, of course. Burnout Bashtronaut, kind of awesome, right? I think it's going to be way easier to get to max speed than you would expect. And sure, you don't want the game to go on that many turns past your turn 4 or whenever the heck you're getting the max speed, right? You don't want it to go on that much longer, but just getting the extra benefits as the game goes on, all of a sudden double strike on this thing. Monstrous Rage just working with the Cacophony Scamp and the Burnout Bashtronaut just so well, but then also just literally working with everything. When we have 32 creatures in here, it just makes way too much sense, huh? So we dropped a Krenko. I wouldn't go up a 23rd mana. I think 22 felt pretty good, and I think the double Cavern of Souls works well as well. I wouldn't change that. I'm thinking the Lightning Strike, just a one of. I mean, when's the burn not going to come in handy, you know? I mean, sure, yeah, we want more goblins on the board at any given time, but there's still going to be moments in games where you have the goblins pushing through for so many turns, opponent drops the board wipe right on time. Maybe you forgot to play around the board wipe, but that's okay. We got them down to 3, drop the Lightning Strike or something, you know? So, I don't know. That's a tough decision, dude, but I think dropping a rare and going up a common is totally fine, huh? Here's Lightning Strike reprinted in Aetherdrift there. We'll use the new one. Now we have 3 pieces of burn. Wow, 3 whole pieces of potential spot removal. That's like 2 more than I usually play with. Yeah, that's pretty good. Dropkick Bomber being a 2 of makes sense to me. I wouldn't want too many of these, especially like we don't want to go too heavy on the 3 drops. If anything, heavy on the 1s and the 2s, and our 3 drop could be a 2 and a 1, right? So it's a similar concept when your 3 drop is a Searslicer Goblin and a Cacophony Scamp. Totally fine, right? And again, though, there's a lot of board wipes and standards. At some point, you got to figure out when you're playing around them and when you're not, and that's just a really tough decision. A tough decision that I wish I didn't have to make. I wish I could just slam my creatures on the board, man. But this was cool, huh? Squee's Graveyard ability, like that one game, that taught us something, right? It taught us that Sunfall's going to be there, dude. If it's going to exile Cacophony Scamp anyways, you might as well pop Cacophony Scamp. You're stocking up your grave for the Squee. The bottom ability, it really does come in handy, guys. And speaking of which, as a one of Squee, I think is perfect in here. This is one of those ones, too, where I wouldn't say don't put it on the do not... Well, what am I saying? I'm saying it's okay to probably craft this one, right? Depending on what you have in your collection already. If you're looking for an upgraded version of goblins, this could potentially be it. However, that being said, whenever a new set comes out, I recommend personally just don't craft anything. Couple weeks at the very least, see where the meta settles. Because what if you spend your wild cards on a goblin build that looks really cool and really fun and performed relatively decent, but then in a couple weeks, the meta settles and literally every other game or every game, the opponent is just wiping the board and obliterating your goblins, and it just so happens to be anti-goblin meta. That would be soul-crushing, right? So it's tough because it's so cool, and I know you guys love goblins as much as I love goblins. This is one of those things where, for me personally, it was so worth the craft to craft the extra Burnout Bastronauts, which I don't think I pulled any out of my pre-order packs, by the way. I think I crafted all 4 of these. But it's going to be worth it because this is the style of deck list I play. We're going to play max speed deck lists with the Burnout Bashtronaut. There's going to be so many builds that I try this in general just to see what happens. Even like Rakdos max speed and stuff. Future Goblin builds and whatnot. Like there's so much to talk about here. I guess I guess put it on the do not craft list, but like you guys know where I'm coming from, right? It's really tough to say that because it is going to be cool. It is going to be fun. But what if the meta settles and it's just anti-goblin, dude? I mean, even today, we saw a lot of anti-goblin shenanigans from the opponents. That was still a decent amount of board wipes. And there's going to be other stuff too. Yeah, if you're looking for upgrades to goblins, is it really going to be 4 rares from the Bashtronaut, 2 rares from the Draconautics, 4 rares from the Howlsquad Heavy, right? That's 10 new goblin rares. I mean, I don't know, dude. That's pretty tough, right? Howlsquad Heavy too is so specific. Like if you're playing Howlsquad Heavy, then you're playing goblins. So how many different types of goblins are you gonna want to actually craft if you craft up the Howlsquad Heavy? Or how many different goblin deck lists, I should say, are you gonna want to put together with the Howlsquad Heavy? I mean, I have a couple other goblin deck lists in mind, but it's one of those cards so specific that if you want to just start with 2 of them or something, that's what I would recommend. Just go for 2 of them and go up some other goblins that you already have in your collection too. At least Greasewrench is budget friendly, right? That's a new that's a new goblin that's budget friendly. Oh man, that's another thing too. Always base everything off of your collection. If you don't have Cavern of Souls, it's okay. It's okay, bro. Just go up a couple mountains. It'll be fine. Sometimes your goblins will get countered and you'll think to yourself, man, if only I had the Cavern of Soul. But the reality of the situation is it doesn't mean you're going to draw the Cavern of Souls anyways. So I think you'd be totally fine with just 22 mountains. And actually, sometimes there will be games where you see both Cavern of Souls and it actually holds up your Monstrous Rage or something. So I don't like how I rearranged that. Guys, I hope you had as much fun with this build as I did. Let me know in the comments, what would you rather take out? What does your goblin deck list look like? What goblin cards or goblin deck lists are you most excited to try out from Aetherdrift? Yeah. Either way, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.